Morning. Hey everyone. I am back. Whoop. Bing. Let me go turn the sound off of my other computer. Bit noisy. Mute. Hey everyone. Thanks, Michael. Whoa, was that loud? No? Okay. Echoing in here. Lots of people in chat already. I have to do the roll call. I don't want to call it a roll call. It's not a roll call. It's a... Say hi to everyone. What's with all the spam? Okay, I'm just going to scroll back quickly and say hi. What? Julian was on first? No way. Hey, Julian. Hey, Michael. Hello, Ezzy. Out scrolling. And Brian is here early this morning. Hello, Brian. Hey, Renee. Hey, Alex. G'day, Ian. Andy's here. Tabletronics. And Rob. Hi, Rob. Hey, James. Whoa. What? Brian, what did you just do? Now, I'm having trouble focusing on the scroll. I'm scrolling too fast. Sorry, almost here. Hey, Michael. Hey, Aaron. The propeller clock. They're crazy. Hey, Crazy Roops. Hey, Aaron. Leo. God, is it echoing in here? What's with the echo? Must be my ears. Okay, almost there. If I missed anyone. Hey, Graham. Hey, Tetraprint 3D. Hang on, that just jumped. Hey, oi, oi, Dave Watts. You're supposed to be playing football. I mean soccer. I mean football. I mean soccer. Hey, Imagination 2 from. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Paul. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Vedran. Okay, I think I got everyone. I hope I did. If I didn't, I apologise if I missed you. Brian, thank you for the welcome back, but you didn't have to super chat me. But thank you. Adam's here. Hey, Adam. You're not looking at your Telegram anymore. Hi, Andy. Oh, well, I'm not going to go back and read the chat. There's too much chat to read. See you on my dude. How was soccer, Mr. Watts? David Watts, he mentioned on his... It was his own stream last week that he's joined a new football team, or soccer team. Sorry, we can't call it football, not in Australia. Anyway, just walking back on football now, I thought I'd have a watch. Don't watch and walk. You'll have an accident. Can I tell you how excited I was last week that both David Watts streamed, if you didn't catch his stream, go watch the replay, and Julian streamed. Both haven't streamed in such a long time. I really enjoy their streams. And so yeah, got to lie in bed, and which is really awkward to type though on my iPad anyway, and got to watch some streams of some of the oldest YouTubers that I've been following, that are both pivotal in getting me into doing what I'm doing now. So yeah, that was just awesome. I'm dying. The people I'm playing with are like 10 years younger than me. Yes, well, we all get old, don't we? We all get old. Just have to get fitter. Just got to get fitter. That's all it is. Football, soccer. I'm not going to have an argument. It's definitely soccer. Hey, I'm not Chuck. Hey, Andy Roberts. If I miss anyone as they pop in, I apologise. Wow, what a couple of weeks, hey? So, I am back. I'm feeling much better. Typing is even worse on a phone. Yeah, I don't even bother watching YouTube on a phone. I've got my iPad that's next to my bed. I use it for reading at night time. So, yeah, I'll watch it on that. But, yeah. Like, if I'm going to watch YouTube, I don't want to watch it in a little, window. Hey Dylan, too late to get fit. No, it's never too late to get fit. Never. Don't say that, Ian. It's actually just, it's really important, especially for the guys in the chat, which is, I think, is pretty much everyone at the moment. It's, yeah, the older you get, the harder it is. The more effort you need to put into looking after your body. I'm not talking about being gym junkie or anything. I'm just saying, just in general, it's just too many guys die young through not looking after themselves, heart disease or stuff like that, just because of eating and lack of exercise. It doesn't take much to just go for a walk, even a 5-10 minute walk, every day, every couple of days. Imagination to from I'm fit and trying to get more fit down to. Wow, good on you, mate. Good on you. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yes, I have coffee, by the way. I'm drinking coffee this morning. I need coffee. It's just, yeah, it gets harder, and it's just really important. Really, I think. There's always lots of chatter about women's health, but there's never enough chatter about men's health. So, and this is an electronics channel, a maker channel, not a health channel, but just everyone look after yourselves. Especially as you get over in age like me. Hey Kepo Steve, hey Ben. Decaf for real, this is real coffee this morning. I need real coffee. I'm allowed to drink coffee. Like it's I just stopped for a while, but I definitely need. Interesting you should talk about dying. I just sent an email to make plans for myself. What? Oh yeah, that's okay. That's quite a usual thing to do as you get on in age, to just make sure that it's taken care of so your family doesn't have to worry about it when you're older. Hey, did you cool things? Special exercise program recovering from back issues. Yeah, it's just your body starts shutting down. It just gets harder. But the earlier you start staying fit, the easier it is later. Anyway, we should move on from that conversation, I think. Because I'm not one to talk about health, good health, am I? As a raft god, I only smoke to keep myself down to the level of mere mortals. What? And to get buried, but I'm not religious. You have to be religious or not religious, I don't think. Wow, 300 pounds. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Hey, After Dark. Anyone good at coding that can help you out? Brian is awesome. I just threw Brian under the bus. Brian's a great coder. There's lots of good coders here. If you want an assembler, Julian can help you. Especially if it's on a pick. Yeah. I don't know. Just ask the question. Hopefully someone will be able to help you out. So anyway, I went on a forced vacation, as many of you know. It was pick or Z80, of course Z80, yes. And yeah, that was not fun. It wasn't what I, I wasn't planning a vacation, but if I was going to have a vacation, it really wasn't the vacation I wanted. I was pretty bored out of my mind in the hospital. And you know what the biggest problem was? I had my iPad. I didn't take my computer, obviously. I wasn't even capable of using a computer. I took my iPad and I tried watching and catching up on YouTube and stuff, on Netflix, and I couldn't, because I was drugged through the roof. And I couldn't watch anything, couldn't focus for longer than 5 minutes at a time. At gunpoint. I was, what? Was at gunpoint? What? I was forced on vacation at gunpoint. No? Anyway, so I'm glad that's all over. I'm probably about 80% back to health now, which is good, which is, yeah, faster than I thought I'd be. I'm very happy about that. So there's been a lot happening. I've got some news, I've got some stuff to show. I was going to make a build video. Not build video. I was going to do a live build today. But, yeah, JLC PCB struck again, so I can't. I have some stuff to show you. Brain stops working. Yeah, brain stops working. I was on morphine for like 4 days straight. which was disgusting. I got to tell you, like, being on morphine was very not a nice experience. I mean, the fact that all the pain went away was great, but the feeling it leaves you in was pretty bad. And yeah, I was just incapable of doing anything really, which is really frustrating because I promised James Sherd I'd catch up on all his videos, which I didn't. I tried watching a few. Hey, Colin. Hey, Andy Mouse. So, there were two things I was going to try to build today. The first one, which I still can't, believe it or not, is I still can't build... Let me switch cameras. I do have lots of stuff to show today. By the way, my mouse is playing up. It's really laggy, so it takes me a lot of time to move it to switch screens. Hey, Gary. Health is the most important thing, and I like, they still don't know what caused my issue, so there wasn't anything specific that I was, I wasn't looking after myself. I mean, they ruled a bunch of stuff out. Hope Yaz cared for you really good. Yaz's hands was full looking after the kids, which was totally fine, and she got the bum deal out of it, let me tell you. I got to spend time in hospital, and she had to look after the kids, so... I mean, they ruled out a bunch of stuff, right? They ruled out, it wasn't stress-related, which is great. It wasn't diet-related, which is great. It's not Crohn's, it's not colitis. It wasn't, yeah. Oh, hello. James is here. And Dave. Hello, Dave. So they ruled a bunch of stuff out, but they still haven't worked out what caused it. They're just treating what it was. Do I have Siri on? I had to turn it off the other day. It was killing my MacBook. I don't know. Nothing's really changed on this machine, but after an update, one of the last Mac updates, no, Siri's off. Yeah, my Bluetooth mouse, if I have it, I think there's some interference on my desk and it's getting in the way, I think. I rearranged some power recently. Hey, HMX. Yeah, they ruled out a bunch of stuff, which is good. But they just don't know what it was, so they're just treating it. So, I can't build these yet, because I ordered the part that I was missing that I had the wrong size for. This is my IO expander board. And I ordered it ages ago, and it seems that on the day I ordered it, this is a pretty funny story, tragic actually. The day I ordered it was the day it was on Friday, just before I went in the hospital. I was pretty much curled up in a ball in agony, but I knew I had to order these parts. So I ordered them, and it was the same day that LCSC introduced DHL e-commerce, which is another option for DHL, and it's a cheaper way of doing it, but it's basically just post. It's not DHL, it's just regular post, but it's handled from DHL. And it seems I chose that option. I don't recall doing it, but I was pretty in a bad way. And so my parts are still not here. They're in Germany right now. It's like 15 days to get them. Ridiculous. So I still don't have the parts I need for here and here, my network arrays. So I still can't build my IO expander. So that was supposed to be on my stream, but I can't today. So that sucks. So if anyone's going to ever choose DHL e-commerce on LCSC, don't do it. It's a useless service. I mean, I'm better off just sending it straight to post. Anyway, so can't build that yet. By the way, I've still got a runny nose. Apologise. Didn't even have time to mute that time. I did get a box from JLC PCB. I got a box. Hang on, what did I miss? What came of the theory that it was ESD that caused it? It was ESD. It was ESD. It was flux. No, it wasn't of all those. The mouse ball's clogged. So if causes unknown, were they able to give you lifestyle changes to minimise recurrence? No, because they don't know what it wasn't a lifestyle thing. So it wasn't diet. It wasn't stress. It wasn't... there's no disease. They think it was a severe infection. I mean that's what they treated, right? And it cheaper than DHL, but well, no, it wasn't that much cheaper. It was only $7 cheap. I don't recall clicking it. I've only ever clicked DHL. I actually had a bit of a disagreement with them, because I got them to look at my history, and I've never ever chosen anything other than DHL. Like full price, whatever the price was, didn't matter, DHL from LCSC. So the fact that I chose DHL e-commerce must have just been because I saw the DHL and I clicked it, and they would have been on top of each other, not realizing that I was clicking on something other than DHL. Right, so in Europe, DHL sucks apparently, but in Australia, it's great. So in Australia, any goods under $1,000, doesn't matter how it's coming to you, whether it's DHL, TNT, UPS, FedEx, or just regular mail. If it's under $1,000, there's no customs. There's no duty, customs, doesn't get stopped at all. If it's over $1,000, it gets looked at. And sometimes it's let through and sometimes it's not. And then if it's obviously a really high amount, you got to pay duty on it and stuff. So, or customs, depending on where it comes from. So for instance, we have a trade agreement with China, so I don't have to pay any customs, so any duty on stuff coming in from China, but I still have to pay fees to get it in the door. You know, it's $120 to get it in the door, and I have to pay GST, which is our goods and services tax, but I can claim that back. Just a bit of a pain because it gets held up. But apparently DHL, or any of them really in Europe, is terrible because they sting you for extra duties and stuff. Germany, I got my Tiny Pico in 7 days. Cool. That was pretty quick-ish, or was that not? So how does going from LCC to Melbourne go through Germany? Right, so that's the thing. So I rang up DHL and said, what is going on with this package? It's supposed to be to me tomorrow, but it's not. It's still in Germany. So he explained to me how cheap post works. You know, how all this... let me switch back. I'm going to go full screen. So I didn't know this, and I'm sure many of you already know this anyway, but I'm going to... a figure from Twitter, I can read German? No, I cannot read German. No. Unless you're a suspect and redlined. Or, yeah, if you got on a bad list, if you're on an import checklist, Adam, that's pretty bad. Anyway, you should stop bringing all those drugs in. So, I apologise if you all know this. By the way, it's really light outside already. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, haven't seen this morning for a while. Sting you mean make you pay the legal duty that otherwise bypass for little parcels? Well, no, I don't think... No, I think sting you as in that in a lot of places in Europe, they make up what the fees are going to be. Or they double bill you. Like I know in Greece, for instance, people just make up values. Or the fact that, like in Ireland, Brian was telling me that when duty has to be paid, the post office service apparently, to collect your duty, charge you a fee to have to collect your duty. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, if you're going to have to pay the duty, you should be able to pay it directly and not get charged a fee to collect the duty. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that's a rort. Anyway, so the way they do cheap postage, right, is, and the reason stuff takes so long to come from China, is that it gets shunted to maybe 20 or 30 destinations on the way there. So what they do is that they don't... It's obviously not direct. It's not even close to direct. It just gets handed from... what happens is it doesn't get a travel plan. They don't say, okay, it's going to go from here to here to here to here to here and get to Australia. What they say is, you've got a window of this much time and stick it on a plane, stick it on the first plane we can get it onto, and just every place it goes to, they work out what plane to put it on next to get it to the next place that'll eventually get it back to where it's supposed to go. Like, this is what the guy explained to me on DHL. Like, there's no set plan. It's not like, okay, this is going to go to Germany, then it's going to go to New Zealand, and then it's going to go to Australia. It just keeps getting shunted. It could get on 5 flights. It could get on 20 flights. And it'll eventually get to you. And that's why a lot of post gets lost that way, because it just gets hand routed from place to place. It's ridiculous. So I was told it would be to me on the 5th. Well, today's the 4th for me. The 5th is tomorrow, and it's still in Germany. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to get to me in time. Which just sucks, right? Because I can't build those boards. There's other parts in there I need, but I can wait for those. But anyway. everything from 0 is taxable. 25% plus $10 in charges. See, that to me, that's not about legal right. That's just a rort. Anyway. Right, £10 from the post and 15 from DHL. Yeah, see, that's just ridiculous. Anyway, I can hire somebody to do coding. Obviously, I'm not rich, but probably willing to pay like $100. Most of it is done. Just having issues with Wi-Fi. You shouldn't have to pay. I think if you've got if you're very clear after dark about what the issue is, and your code's well documented enough that the person trying to help you doesn't have to sit there for a while sifting through your code, maybe you'll be able to find someone that'll be able to help you without having to pay. I don't know. Plenty of smart people here, but I know that most people here are pretty busy. Hey, Electron Ash. You're done with using DHL for shipping. Right, but again, it's your destination. For Australia, it's great. It really is. I always preference DHL. And anytime I need to ship anything to America, I always use DHL. It is springtime. Okay, I'm going to open this box. I want to show you. So this is something new. Whoops. What am I doing? Why is this upside down? Oh, wrong one. Wow, I'm really struggling today. There we go. And I've got other news. Hello, 83. Just dropping by to say hi. Nice to see you back and healthy. Thanks, mate. Thank you. So some people know about this and some people won't. I've got some new boards. And what is this? I didn't get a magnifying glass. I got some tape. And it's a pinky red colour. And it looks really overblown, doesn't it? Now, let me just turn the light down a bit. It's this pinky reddy colour. I don't know what it is. And it says, make PCBs for $2. And it's tape of some description. And I don't know why I would use this tape and why I'd advertise that. Like, what is... I don't know what type of tape it is. Does anyone know what this is? Free tape, yay! Oh, Brian got blue tape. Do you know what tape it is? Like, it's got a circuit diagram on it. Bit hard to see in this lighting. It's a really off yuck colour. It's pink colour, I don't know what it is. It's masking tape and it isn't that great. No, it's not great. So, I got some boards I ordered. Let's see if we can see what these are. I haven't opened them yet. I'm going to open them now. And the reason I didn't open them yet, I was going to build them live today. So I'll tell you what happened. I ordered these and my next set of 50 panels for my tiny picos, because I'm ordering 50 panels at a time. So JLC PCB have this thing. I'm turning my heater on, it's cold. Yesterday was so warm, I was in a t-shirt all day, but today is a bit cold. So I ordered, I ordered 50 panels. If I order more than 50 panels at a time, then they run them at night time, and it takes 6 to 8 days, 7 to 9 days now to get them. So if I order 51 panels, it's 7 to 9 days. But if I order 50 panels, it's 4 to 5 days. They just put them in they manufacture them differently. They over-ordered tape. It could be. Yeah, it's opaque. It's just a really yuck colour. I mean, it's pinker than what it is. It's blown out a bit on the camera, but it's just really yuck tape. I don't know what it's for. For stencils? I don't know. No, it's not very sticky. Anyway, so I ordered 50 panels, and I ordered these, and a stencil for these. And they had everything ready to go, and they did a final check on my panels, because they check all of my stuff now. Surprise, surprise. And guess what? They had a manufacturing fault, and all the boards were shorted. That's the second time they've done that. So they had to remake all of my 50 panels. Hey, Ian. Yes, yesterday was a beautiful game. Beautiful game, beautiful day. I just read the Buys game. Yesterday was beautiful here. So they're remaking my other boards, and they said to me, look, can we send you these ones? Like, they paid for it. We'll send you these, and then we'll send you the other ones when they're done. I said, great. So they sent me these, but didn't send me the panel, the stencil. So I can't build them. So now I have to wait for so it's already shipped, and I'll have it Thursday or Friday. So maybe... I was going to build these live on the stream, but I can't. I need to build them as soon as my stencil comes in. But I'll open it up and I'll show you what it is. So this is The switches, but it was me errors about tactile switches, something about pad error. I think, you know what, I much prefer the stuff that PCBWay send out. They at least send nice stickers. So this, look at this, it's white. White and Enig. Oh, wrong way around. Does anyone know what this is? Some people know what this is. So I did these white just so I can identify them easily. This is my first test of... Can anyone read that? I did the logo in Enig. Tiny Pico Plus. ESP32A1S modules look really neat. I don't know what you're talking about. Volterra is good to have when you have no stencil. I don't know if I can do some of these pads with the Volterra. Anyway. S1 Pico. Well, this is still a Pico D4, so it's the same as the Tiny Pico, but, and it's the same size board, but it's got I've moved it to the Fractus antenna, so it's a much smaller antenna, and I squeezed a reset button on it, and I've broken out TX and RX, and GPIO 0, and look at that, the silkscreen is not aligned. It's off to the right. And I've added reverse feedback protection 5V on the USB. So there's two shotkeys here. Using a smaller shotkey. Tiny White Pico V47++. No, it's not this is a revision 1. So this is a Tiny Pico Plus. Now this may or may not be a board I ever put in production. I don't know. Tiny Pico Plus reset. So it's interesting because, you know, this board obviously went through a lot of revisions and iterations and stuff, but it really wasn't till it went out in the wild. I mean, it was in the wild for quite a while. There was, you know, less than 10 people with them before the crowd supply campaign. But a few things came up after the campaign and after people got their hands on them that made me, hey David, that made me want to make some changes in hindsight. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? Born Eagles before the Beatles broke up. What? Yes, so Adam's very excited about GPIO 0. So that's an example. So GPIO 0, now I knew IO 0 was useful for instance, something like Ethernet. It's required if you want to do an Ethernet board. But I really didn't think, even David, he wants IO 0. But I was never really considering the Tiny Pico as a board that anyone would really use with an Ethernet, like to make an Ethernet adapter for, just because of its size and stuff. But it turns out that IO 0 is also really useful if you're doing audio, because there are a lot of I2S chips that use IO 0 for the frequency locking, because there's a 50, is it 50 hertz? Is it hertz or megahertz? Whatever it is. On IO 0. Was that capacity select? Number ordering on the ESP32 is a bit weird to begin with. Yeah, they've rectified a lot of that with the S2 actually. They've actually numbered all their IO from 0 sequentially upwards without missing big chunks. Yeah, 50 megahertz. 50 hertz. 50 megahertz. Apologise. So, yeah, so I guess looking back, these are changes that I probably would have maybe, had I have known about the Fractus at the time and had I have not chosen that antenna, then this is maybe something I would have done for my original Tiny Pico. I don't know. So I want to build one of these. I need to send one of them off without a Pico D4 to my RF guy so he can tune the network. And it might even not need this matching network. I don't know. So anyway, I wanted to build one or a few. I've got 10 boards because I need to send a few boards, probably 2 or 3, to my RF guy in case he wrecks them. These will also be easier to manufacture because there's nothing underneath the antenna. Like, I've had too many people... I'll talk about some changes I made to the regular Tiny Pico that I've been building in production for a while now. But I guess there's been too many issues with the antenna in the wild, of people squishing them or getting them broken off, that I guess you know, I really love this antenna, but it turns out that it's just probably for a board maybe this small where it's really hard to grip it. Like, look at the size of my thumb, right? You know, people are having trouble getting in and out of a breadboard, for instance, with this size antenna without wrecking the antenna. So that's why I'm looking at this new Fractus antenna, which is it's quite small, as you can see, and I'm hoping it'll be fairly robust. Is the crystal for Reflow Master 32, I'm guessing? Yes, it is. No, it's 32K. Yeah, 32.768K crystal for the SAMD 21. It's a hertz that jiggles. What the hell is it? Gigahertz. So anyway, I want to build these. So that's a Tiny Pico Plus. What I might end up doing is, if I do, I might make some of these because I'm leveraging all the same parts, right? Other than antenna. I mean, obviously I'm not going to run a crowd supply campaign for them, but I might definitely put some of these on my website if people want, like, if they work okay. If people, you know, want the extra features on there, then I'll make these available for sale as well. Hint, even break the micro USB connector. Yes. So Michael broke the USB connector. So interestingly, I actually broke my USB connector. Well, not broke it off. But I mean, obviously, I abused the crap out of mine. This is my, what revision is this? This is P3. This is one of the, I think this is the first P3 board that was ever made. And this is the board I've been using and testing all sorts of stuff with and using in my projects. I used it in my, in this project the other day, you know, which we'll talk about this one in a second. I've abused the living crap out of this board. And only recently, like I think 3 days ago, I went to get it out of a breadboard and I had the USB cable plugged in. And what did I do? I thought, okay, I had wires everywhere like this. Yeah. And so to not knock the wires, I grabbed the USB cable to pull it. And what did I do? Well, I've made it loose now. It does still work when you plug the USB in, but if I jiggle the cable, I've obviously put some stress on the pins, right? Now, I've used this board, I've plugged in and out of this board 1,000 times or more, right? I've really abused the crap out of it. And it's still in pretty good condition. So it's definitely, I mean, I've broken Adafruit boards way quicker than these ones before. I've broken Wemos boards. You know, it's easy to do. One of the things with my current boards, my new boards right now, which are exactly the same. So this is the current revision I'm building. This one doesn't have any RAM on the back. Let's go RAM on the back so they sit the same height. So this is the matte black ones, and this is the new black from JLC PCB. So I'll get back to the chat in a second. What I've actually done, I mean, apart from the fact that they're using the different, the FETs, the easier to place FETs, that little guy there, compared to these old ones here, you can't see the pins. But one thing I did on this revision is I made the pads underneath, you can't see, underneath the antenna, I made them a little bit bigger to have a little bit more strength on the solder pads, to maybe help with the durability of the antenna on there. So, I mean, that's been in production for quite a while now. But I don't know, I mean, I've never ripped an antenna off myself, so I just... But durability is something that I really didn't put a lot of thought into, I guess. In hindsight, I'm kicking myself now. Kicking myself. So I'm really excited about building one of these. And as I mentioned, I did my logo in Enig because I just wanted to see what it looked like. But it seems that there's a problem with their silk screening. Because if you look here, see the black? So no silk screen made it inside these gaps on some of them. And some of them it did. Mine didn't instantly come off completely, but I got it loose too much, so my friend tried to solder it back on. Yeah. And that's, I mean, very hard to fix stuff on a board like this unless you've got a microscope and got some, you know, hot air gun and some skills in working this small. Hello, Margin Fly. Just tuning in. What's the problem with the antenna? I know it's fragile. Yeah, look, it's just fragile. It's fragile in terms of bending it, which is why I do these clips. And a few people actually had them knocked off during shipping. So in terms of an antenna, they're still probably one of the best quality meaning the best performing antennas you can get, which is why I chose it. But it seems that durability wise, maybe for a board this small, where you don't have a lot of place to hold it, it's not such a, yeah, works great, maybe not as user friendly as I would have liked. Yeah, hindsight is a wonderful thing. So I've gone for these new little Fractus antennas, which are more expensive, considerably more, like almost double the price. And they're not quite as good, but they'll still be fantastic. Boba Fett, all the trace width is short, and it just means getting the trace width right versus the distance to the ground plane on the other layer. What are we talking about? We're talking about the matching network. Maybe it's time to switch to USB-C connectors. Ripped the micro USB connector off one of our prototype boards last week. A $300 board. Oh, yeah. Well, I have moved to USB-C. So, okay, so that's what's interesting. I want to build this, but I already designed this and got this ready before I did my my S2 board, my Pro S2 board, which is using USB-C. So now I can talk about that because the datasheet is out. Does everyone know that the datasheet is now out for the S2 chip? So I'm able to if I can find it. So I can talk more about this, about its features, which I wasn't really able to do before. This is my Pro S2 board. So this is using USB-C. So this is in preparation for the S2 chip coming out. This is using USB-C, but as USB 2, right? I'm actually thinking now that one of the things I might do, has a good article on the S2. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the S2 now that there's actually officially data out about it. So one thing I'm thinking of doing is I'd have to make the board a fraction longer because the USB-C is much longer. So this package that's in Germany right now with LCSC, it's actually got my USB-C connectors on there. So I'll have some of those coming soon. And the antenna will affect the matching, so a trace and connector should be more stable after... Was it deforming the gap in the antenna will affect the matching, so a trace and connector should be more stable after shipping. What do you mean a trace and connector? S2 do 400. Does you lots of questions. The S2 has full speed USB 1 point something. I don't know. It's in the specs. Anyway, so sorry, there's a few conversations going on at once. So I'd have to make the board longer to get the USB-C on because USB-C on USB-C on. Because yeah, it's quite a long connector. I'd probably have to add another 5mm. So I can do that. I mean, I won't change the headers. So I might do that before I put this board into production. For now, I can test it just with the micro USB. But I agree, I might want to move to USB-C from now on. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to building these. I assume with USB-C it will be able to act as both device and host. Host, well, yes and no. So the S2 supports... Well, USB-C is irrelevant to whether it's what it works as with with USB. Like in my case, on the S2 chip, I'm just using it as USB. It's USB 2.0, right? So it's just using D plus, D minus is USB-C on, C on. Yeah, it's funny. I can't say that now without saying C on. From now on, it's got USB-C on. Okay, fine. Thanks, Julian. So it's just been, I mean, all the extra pins here are not being used, right? Well, most of them are just the two-sided thing, right? There's two D pluses, two D minuses, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just being used as a USB 2, not USB 3 plug. But the S2 chip itself, the USB stack that's coming with it, will also support USB on the go, which means that you'll be able to do a lot more other stuff with it. But can you use it as a mass storage device or as a host? I don't know yet. That's really up to Espressive and what drivers they're going to use for it. Why do you see Saw 4 before you see... Wow, okay. These tongue twisters are getting difficult. Hey Scott, welcome. Anyway, so I've not sent these boards off to get made yet. There's no real rush because I'm not going to have silicon of S2s that I can use on them for quite a while, like for many months still. So I will at some point. Maybe soon I'll get these built. But I started working on another Tiny Pico. Yay! This one's for me. But again, I may ship them. And I'll show you. I've had a... that's my... Got all this stuff open. Good I clean my desk up first. Hey David, he's back. The addressable memory on the S2 is nice. Yes, and so some of the Spy buses have DMA, which is really nice on it, but unfortunately there's no DMA support, it seems, on the bus that the Flash and RAM is using, which is really annoying. I don't know why that is. Let me show you Eagle. Let me show you this. So I've gone back to my Nano. I'm looking at doing another Nano, but it's different. It's a different Nano than before. It's not about getting it as tiny as possible. It's about making something that's really usable for me, for my projects. So, excuse me, it occurred to me that I keep reinventing the wheel a lot. Like I have projects that I want to use ESP32s on, and I want something that's better than a room, or better than just the modules that are available, because I want something that's fully complete. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I go back to the idea of doing like a Nano, making it doesn't have to be super tiny. I mean, this is obviously smaller than the Tiny Pico, right? It's 27.3 by 14.61, and it might be smaller, I don't know. And make it single-sided, castellated edges, but make it a complete microcontroller, which is what I've done. It's not routed yet, right? I only started working on this yesterday. And so the idea is that, let me just bring up manufacturing, is it'll be a module, a plug-on module that I can use on my projects that's fully complete. But it doesn't have, so it's exactly the same as the Tiny Pico. There's no APA on there, but it's got the CP2104, it's got all the USB stuff on board. It just doesn't have a USB connector, right? So the idea is it's just a module. I can connect it to the back of the board. Let's say if I do move my Reflow Master Pro over to ESP32, or I've got a new clock I'm working on and I want to put an ESP32 on it, then I don't have to put all the rest of the stuff. I can just make a module that I can put on my boards, and the only thing I need to attach to it is a JST connector if I want battery, because it's got onboard charging still, and a USB connector of any type. So I can stick a micro B on there, I can stick a USB-C, it doesn't really matter. Would be great if you could get that one certified. I'm not going to get it certified because I need to do 10,000 plus boards to justify certification. I need to be able to sell 10,000 boards to justify certification. I'd like to see the APA. I'm going to build the APA board. I made some changes to that too. I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to. This might be something I sell, but this is something I'm designing for me. So it's not. So these castellated edges are not as small as they were last time. They're normal size castellated edges, but they're closer together. They're not 0.1 inch. They're actually 0.075. So they're halfway between the two. Because it doesn't matter. Because I realize that if I'm going to go castellated edges, it doesn't matter what the pitch is, as long as there's a matching footprint, right? So I'm quite excited about getting this routed, and again, I'm going to use a Fractus antenna. I think I can make it a bit smaller. I think I can close some of these components in, make them a bit tighter. So I've managed to break out a lot more for it. It'd be nice for a project of mine, but the price for the rooms and Rover is so low. Right, the room and Rover price is so low, but they've got nothing with them, right? You still need to add all the rest of your stuff with them. You need to add your USB stuff, you need to add an LDO, you need to add well, for the Rover you don't need to add RAM, for the Room you need to add RAM. Like, you still need to add all of the other stuff. Hey, Ed. Which is, like, it's a frustrating thing for me. Like, I keep reinventing the wheel again, or reusing the same stuff again. I just want to drop on board. So this is just going to be like a drop-on module. It's a fully complete microcontroller. I've broken out RX and TX and IO0 on it, so you don't even need to use the USB, the D1, the D plus and D minus. You could just use the UART. And I've broken out IO2, 12 and 13 because there's no APA on there as well. It's got full charge and everything else. It's a full Tiny Pico, fully featured Tiny Pico, no APA and no USB on it or JST connector on it. That makes sense. And I think this is a much better option than the Nano, because my original Nano idea was I still needed to add all of the other stuff. I had an LDO on there, but it had no serial or anything else. So, and then what I would like to do is when the S2 comes out is to make another one of these for the S2 where I take off the USB stuff and I can put the flash on it instead and a crystal and stuff, and I could have potentially both. But I'm quite excited about this. I'm going to, again, get this routed hopefully soon and get some of these built as well. Could you do a bootloader that lets you do MicroPython over Wi-Fi? So you can kind of already do that now. There's a web REPL for MicroPython. So that's possible already, and over the air is being worked on as well for MicroPython. So technically, yes, you can, once it's flashed, well, technically, if I ship these with MicroPython on them, then, and I include the web REPL with it, you could actually, the only issue is you'd need some way of setting the IP address on it, I guess. But you definitely could. But something like this would allow me to put these on my projects and decide what type of USB connector I want to put later, if that makes sense. So that's one thing I've been working on. If it has FSC, it would get much better position in the market as improved version of Room, etc. It's hard to estimate. Yeah, right, sure, but again, certification is very expensive. Certification will cost me about $20,000, a bit more. And yeah, that's just a huge investment for a product that may not sell. 1mm spacing. 1mm? What? You could always have IO 12 to 15 available. Then hardware JTAG debugging will work. Well, that's the other thing as well. I've got 12, 13, 14, 15 available, as you see. So I made sure that everything, I broke out, anything that's IO is broken out. There is some extra ones. So you can see here that there's a pin here I'm not using. I could potentially get rid of that, move the antenna up, and maybe get the board smaller. There is some extra I/O that I haven't exposed, but they're input only. I may just add one extra one here. I think, like, for instance, 34 I could use. 34 is on the is ADC1, but it's an input only. The certification is just way too expensive. Like, it really is. Because I have to certify for Wi-Fi, I have to certify for Bluetooth, like classic, I have to certify for BLE, and that has to be done for every region. So, yeah, my plan is to track my cats with Tiny Picos using IP geolocation and connecting through widely available Enterprise 2 networks. That's cool. Your cats, how many cats have you got? I'd love to do to do full FCC and everywhere else certification, but I don't think it's on the cards. But what I can do though is make the board certifiable, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if this was FCC certified and you used it on a product, you still have to get your product certified, right? It just makes certification for you a bit quicker and easier because this part's already certified. But you still have to get your product, your end product certified, right? So, as long as I make this certifiable enough that it's not going to have any issues to go through certification, that will at least make final certification much easier for people, even if it doesn't come certified. Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm not doing enough scale to justify certification. I'm really not. And you got to remember margins are not high enough to justify it, to cover the cost. Yeah, having input pins only can be useful. I mean, we're better off having, if I've got space, I'll break them out. I have to be careful here though, because I could. The more sides I have castellated, the more expensive the board's gonna be. So I'm gonna be careful as well. Does the antenna have to go on the top side? Yes, the antenna. Well, it can't go on the bottom because this is going to get soldered onto a board. But yeah, the antenna generally will be on top. Yes, so if it's underneath, it's going to get interfered with. Certification is a massive risk due to the cost. The 10k would be not 10k, it's 20k. But yeah, would be better spent elsewhere. And you'd need to spend a bucket load to research first to see if the market was there. Absolutely. Do IOI kits have to be certified? No, they don't. So the way certification works, or the rules are that if the product you're making is what's called an assembly, so it gets used in conjunction with another product, then you don't have to certify it by law. I can sell these in America uncertified and it's no problem because it's designed to be plugged into something else. And so the final product has to be certified. The individual bits do not have to be certified to be sold as individual bits. So that's why I don't have to certify tiny picos and why I can sell them, because they're designed to be used with other things, right? How do you specify castellated pin things? Do you just tell the fab? Right, so with JLC, it's tricky now. It used to be that you could just stick these. This is only temporary, right? But it used to be that you could just stick headers on the edge and they'll make them. The problem is what you don't get is the, let me just zoom in. What you don't get is plating on these little bits here. So you get plating through here, but along here you just get the V-score cut, right? So it's not very nice edge. It's not really what castellated edges are. JLC PCB offer actual proper castellation now, but they charge for it, and it's not cheap. It's actually quite expensive because you pay per edge that's being castellated. And it's a treatment they put afterwards, and they do proper, castellated on it, but yeah. So some board houses, and also you can't use headers to do it. So let me just go to a previous, let me go to my older Nano. Where's my final Nano? Well, that was my Nano, me doing oh, that's when I was lining up. Okay. I was lining up to see whether I could put a PCB antenna on ages ago. So this is the last Nano that I did, that I got built, that works, but I'm not going to manufacture, right? So what JLC, I can't get any bigger than this because of how small the board is. So what JLC PCB want is not, you can't put pin headers. You need to actually put pads, top and bottom pads, right? But with holes, drill holes. Did I miss anything, or have you been working on that now? I'm not sure who that was to, Scott. The place where it matters is if the other pins get used up with things that need lots of pins. An example. Yeah. I'm happy to put input-only pins on there if I've got room to put them, but I'm not going to necessarily make the board bigger just to add those extra pins on, I guess. Yeah, so that's what you need to do. So I had to build these. They're really ugly, right? So I had to build these special headers. So they've got top and bottom pads, and then they've got these holes that cut out. But the top and bottom pads aren't connected because there's nothing to connect them, right? Because these are according to Eagle anyway. So these are just drill holes. And so what you get is all these crosses, they're all DRC errors. It's really frustrating. Anyway, that was my original Nano. It's pretty cool. It works. It was really packed in. But it was just, yeah, too expensive. Too expensive to make. So that's my Tiny Pico news. Half a hole costs more. Half a hole costs more than, yeah, a full hole, apparently. So let me also bring up then just, oops, not that one. So I haven't got my, oh, my mouse is going funny again. I haven't got my APA matrix sent off yet because I made another change. So Alex, Tiny LED Matrix, suggested that that's not the one, that I do a hybrid, which I've done, where the back of the board now, whoops. So remember I had the two different boards? Well, I've now got one. So you can plug the Tiny Pico into it, and I've got the quick connectors on there as well. So I can just make the one board, and I can use it for either. It's probably some rogue Tiny Pico sending Bluetooth signals. No, I think I've got a power board. Can't really see where I'm pointing. I've got a power board here, and I think it's just sitting really close to my computer, maybe. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Does the Tiny Pico face up? The Tiny Pico faces up, yes. So an interesting thing that happened again was when people started getting their play shields and their Tiny Picos, there was a lot of confusion about which orientation they were supposed to put their header pins on. Okay, people with, it was always designed for the header pins to go like this, but people were confused and they thought, well, do they put the header pins facing up and do they plug the Tiny Pico in that way into the play shield? So, yeah, there was some confusion, and so I wanted to make it clearer. So is there a way to make cancellations on the cheap PC houses won't V-score over? Right, well, that's the thing. So the reason JLC PCB charge for cancellation now and they've got a proper cancellation machine is because the plating gets done after the V-score, so you get proper plated castellated edges. Any PCB house that lets you just put pins there and that's it and don't charge for it, that's fine, but what you get back is a messy edge, right? And if they don't V-score exactly on the right spot, then you'll get problems with your castellations. So it's pretty much hit and miss. I know that Looney, from Looney Labs, not here at the moment, but he got some boards made just using header pins with JLC PCB. I don't know how they got it through. Can the quick connectors handle the required amperage? I don't know. I think so. I think they're rated up to the ones I'm getting. I think they're rated up to 3-ish, maybe amps. Maybe not enough. I don't know. That'll be an interesting thing to find out. I might not. I don't even have quick connectors here. I had an order of them, but I haven't placed it yet because I'm still not even sure I want to use quick connectors. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not 100% committed to making this board yet because, right, so the reason I'm using APAs on here is so it makes it, so they've got data and clock, which means it's fully compatible with any microcontroller. We don't have to worry about the ESP32 and the Wi-Fi interrupts getting in the way with data corruption and stuff like that, right? Now, I know on the Arduino side, Fast LED now has their RMT implementation, which fixes that problem, but they don't have RGBW support yet. So, for instance, that old panel I made, this one here, is anyone, remember this project? I still, even with Fast LED, I can't drive this because it's using RGBWs. So MicroPython still doesn't have an RMT implementation, and I'm waiting. For those that don't know, RMT is it's a thing that the ESP32 specifically has that was originally designed around IR, bursts of data from IR, and what it lets you do is, APAs are not RGBW, but APAs use a data and a clock, which means there's never any data corruption on them because the clock maintains the data integrity. So RMT is designed to be able to, what you can do is grab a whole bunch of data of bits, right? And it's designed at a really low level of hardware to push it out in chunks, in multiple chunks. It's not streamed. So right now, when you running your API, running your RGB LEDs in Arduino land, whatever, what it's doing is it's streaming the data out to the chips, right? And anytime that interrupt hits, the stream gets interrupted, and that's what that glitch is. So RMT on the ESP32 fixes that, but there's no RMT yet on the MicroPython side, and it's something that I've been pushing and Matt's been pushing, and it's going to happen. I'm impressed at how many people get on your live stream, to define the number of people watching compared to the number I get. Cheers, Scott. I think people just like watching me fail. watching things go bad, maybe. I don't know. So that's why I'm going APAs on this, but the APAs are like really expensive. Like 2 to 3 times more expensive than if I just went normal SK6812s, for instance, which makes the board too expensive to sell. I mean, I'm happy to make some for myself. I've got reels of APA sitting there, not a problem. But if this RMT stuff can get solved quickly, soon, then I can not go APAs and I can go SK6812s or whatever, and which also use slightly less power than the APAs. It also means that I can go for smaller packages and either make it denser or whatever else. So as much as I want to make one of these, and I might just get 5 boards of these built, I don't know, we'll see, just so I can make one and have fun with it. I'm thinking that I might move it over back to SK6812s instead, which will make them cheaper to make, potentially use less power if we can solve this RMT thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's why I haven't got this built yet. Also, I've just been, because I had a week vacation, I've been slammed with Tiny Pico production. I use SK6812 minis on my boards. Yeah, the minis, and I've got a whole bunch of 1515s here. Is the one for the ESP board package for Arduino already out yet? It's not. It's gone to release candidate 2, but it's not out yet, unfortunately. Hey, Mark. So I've got other news. I've got other things to show. I'm going to show now. So remember this? Let's go back to this. Remember this? Did you see my comment last video about using headers to link and mount the boards? I did. Lots of people, Scott, were also... Sorry, some things I've replied to. I've just been obviously pretty slammed since I got back, since I've been up and running again, and all my focus has been on catching up on Tiny Pico production. It's occurred to me, though, that I might be overthinking this whole connecting them. So remember, I'm not wanting to make a cube out of them, right? Which is where headers would be kind of helpful. I'm wanting to just be able to put them next to each other. And maybe all I need to do is stick some tape down. I have a project in mind that I want this for, that I want to do a long... Okay, I can't zoom out far enough. I want to do a long strip. Maybe 4 of those panels, right? Maybe 512 by... Sorry, 64 by 8, or maybe even 128 by 8. I want a really long, thin strip, right, of RGB LED. So that's going to have to get mounted onto something anyway. And if it's going to get mounted onto something anyway, then maybe the whole how am I going to let people join these together becomes a moot point. You'll join them together however you need to. Having to put something on there to allow people to mechanically join them still might not work for their projects. And because I'm making it just for myself, I might just use some tape and tape it together. Long time since I used Eagle. Eagle's come a really long way. So 9.5, what's the new version now that just came out? God, I can't even... 9.5.0 just came out with some really nice new features. They're really doing a great job of pushing it along. But anyway, I've got some other news I want to show you. So this, I was going back and forwards with, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Simeon, about this, and he kept telling me it was my soldering and there was something else, but it turns out it wasn't. It turns out that it was actually a code problem in the library, and he fixed it. I'm going to plug this in. And so now I have... Ooh. Oh, a bit hard to see with this lighting. Can you just turn it down? I've got... See that? RGB. RGB is working! Yay! So it's working now. It was actually a library problem. Have you used the pick and place features of Eagle 9. No, I haven't, and I'm not going to because it's not compatible. So the pick and place data it gives you is really for a board house to use to import into something. I've already got a pipeline in Eagle with a special script that lets me export what I need for my pick and place specifically. So it actually it exports a charm high file that I can just copy in and go with. Where you let know the fast way to toggle ground pour on and off. I just do a rip up at semicolon. Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a button. Yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Tabletronics. So yeah, this is working now, which is cool. So I can get back to playing with an idea I had for this. And I've confirmed that both of them work. Except one of these, I don't know why, but this is using address 3, and this is using address 1. I could not get address 2 working for some reason, and I don't know why. And I haven't even seen what this looks like with the cap on. There we go, you see the nice blue? Green. It's not quite as bright with the cap on, unfortunately. I was hoping it'd be a bit brighter, but still pretty cool. Close and open the PCB window. So anyway, yeah, that's cool. So that's now working, which is awesome. I want to show you something else though, but I don't have I should have pre-flashed it. Damn. I want to talk to you about something quickly with MicroPython. Something that's happened with MicroPython. Yay! Something cool. 3D print in clear PLA. What am I 3D printing? Whoa. Where those caps come from? What caps? What are we talking about? Oh, these caps. I bought them with the things. So there's two different type of caps that I could buy with these. One was like this, and one was just a clear one. So it lets you, the whole thing lights up. But I like these dial things, but unfortunately they're not as bright as I was hoping they'd be. Maybe there's a setting to make the LED brighter. I don't know. Yeah. So they came with it. Well, I paid extra for them, but yeah. Wonder if they are custom. I don't think they're custom. I don't think he would have gone to the expense of making these. Hold the line. I'm going to quickly jump to my other machine. I need to flash something onto this thing. So just bear with me a second. It'll only take me a moment. I can keep talking while I'm doing it. I meant to do this before my stream and I forgot. I apologise. But I want to show you something, which is cool. I'm flashing MicroPython on here. Doing an erase. So I'm erasing the Arduino code that's on here right now. I'm doing it here because the firmware is sitting over here right now. And make deploy. Okay, it's just putting MicroPython on. Oh, I hope it's putting the right version. Hang on one second. I'm sorry, but this is kind of cool. It is very cool, actually. I want to make sure. Bummer. It's building the wrong version. 1 second. Sorry. Chat amongst yourselves. I'll be there in a second. Okay, that's recompiling. While that's compiling and then flashing, I'll come back in a second. I need another camera. I need a camera. I need to set up cameras everywhere, I think. 1 moment, caller. We'll be right back. To venture into using hex files soon with an AVR programmer. Ooh, yuck. We can talk about ESD now. No, we can't. We're not talking about ESD. So, in the MicroPython space, there's been there's a lot of boards that are supported, right? And the best supported board. Hey, Shepu. Don't even know how to pronounce that, but hello. So, yeah, the best supported boards at the moment are the STM32s, and that's basically because Damien, who invented MicroPython, he works with STM32s all day, every day, right? And his PyBoard D uses STM32, so that gets the most love. There's the most, and because there are so many STM32 chips out there, there's a lot of effort has gone into MicroPython supporting all those versions, right? And when you go to the download page on MicroPython, which I'll do right now and show. Wow, where's my browser gone? New window. So if I go to micropython.org, right, and I go to downloads, you'll see that if you look at the that's the PyBoard stuff, Rippy ESP8266s. Wow, this has been updated. If you look at the firmware for the boards, they've got all the different Nucleo boards and STM32 and stuff. So there's a different firmware for each of those. But for the ESP32, there's just a generic one for everything, right? Which is now changing. And I'll show you why. And this is very cool. So there's two things that are happening. So the way they do this for the individual STM32s, there's a build system that makes these automatically, right? CircuitPython should be there for the ESP32S2. At some point there will be CircuitPython, yes, because it's got built-in USB. That's a while away because there's no S2 that has USB working yet. So you're probably not going to see that before the end of, until next year. So the way this happens is there's a concept in MicroPython of a board where you can have individual settings of boards under a port. So a port would be STM32, a port would be ESP32. They've now added board support for the ESP32, and the first board they've added is TinyPico, and they're using that as the test for all this stuff, right? So very soon, like when you go to the ESP32 firmware, you'll see a specific firmware for the TinyPico sitting there, and that will get automatically built all the time. And so there's a couple of really cool things about that. If I grab this, is it built? It has. Yay. So if I plug this in, thanks James. So if I plug in my TinyPico that I just put MicroPython on, and if my mouse has gone wonky again. Go new. If I do a hold on a second. Right. So if I R shell to the TinyPico, okay. So I'm currently on my. Can everyone see this? Let me make the text bigger. Okay, so I'm currently R shelled to my TinyPico. If I go into the REPL, look at this. Oops. You can now see that it's a TinyPico with an ESP32 Pico D4. It knows what the board is. Try disassembly. Okay, not sure what that is. So not only does it know what the Tiny Pico is now, that it's a Tiny Pico, if I break out of that, if I have a look at what's on this board, right, if I do a ls, still called Pi board, all that's on here is boot.py. Okay, there's no code. Can you see that? There's nothing there. There's no tinypico.py, there's no .star.py or anything else. But look what I can do. I can say import tinypico. And I can say help. I can't remember if I need brackets or not. Yeah, I need brackets. I can't remember, or do I need quotes? No, that'll be string. Wow, I'm having a brain freeze at the moment. There we go. And look at that, all the Tiny Pico helper stuff is in there. The same with import .star. I can now say help .star, and all the .star stuff is there. So what that means is that because it knows it's a Tiny Pico, when it gets built, it can include all of the anything I want to ship with the Tiny Pico in the actual firmware of MicroPython, right? But because it knows, because it's a build for Tiny Pico, if you install that on a different board, obviously it'll have those things there as well. But it means that they can now build per board functionality for each of the things that you want to do. So when you go and download Tiny Pico firmware for MicroPython, I can make sure that anything I want is in that firmware for you already, nothing else you need to download. Does that make sense? So as I keep developing new things, like I could, for instance, inside this firmware, I could put built-in drivers for all of my shields, right? And what it means is that if you put the generic ESP32 MicroPython on there, you won't have them. But if you put the Tiny Pico firmware on there, you will. And because it's actually compiled and frozen into the firmware. So what it means is it takes up less memory at the sacrifice of taking up a little bit more flash space. But the ESP32s have stacks of flash. So flash is not a problem. And so it allows me to make custom firmware, but I don't have to distribute it. Right, it'll automatically get built by the system, and I'll show you what I mean by built by the system. Let me just move that out the way. So MicroPython has a open link, has an continuous integrated build system. And for those that don't know what that means that their build system automatically, I'll show you that here, automatically picks up changes and regularly automatically builds all the platforms. That makes sense? So there's constantly builds happening in the background of MicroPython. And as you can see here, look at this. It gets chopped off the end for some reason. Oh, there we go. ESP, you can't see that on my screen. Let me move that. ESP32 Tiny Pico. So the Tiny Pico firmware is constantly being built. So anytime I do a pull request on mainline and it gets merged and it gets approved and gets added to the code base, then the continuous integration will automatically build that, and that will become available for people to download automatically. So anytime you want to put MicroPython on your board, you don't have to wait for me to do something or anything else. You can just go to MicroPython website. There's some work being done, or discussion being done, about making this list something that's automated. Right now it's hand put together by Damien. But yeah, you'll be able to just always go and grab the latest Tiny Pico firmware and download it and install it, which is really cool. It's the first time this has been done for any boards other than STM32. And a lot of the functionality that's being added right now is being done specifically because I've been asking for it for the Tiny Pico. So yeah, that's really good. That's going to really make Tiny Pico a first-person citizen. No, what is it? I can't even think of the term. So that's very exciting. So yeah, there's been a lot happening in the background while I've been Sick. Continue is awesome once you get used to it until you're packing up to leave the office when the build failure email comes in. Well, it depends on who's running the continuous integration. First class citizen, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you. Look at me being a trailblazer. No, I'm not a trailblazer. I'm just, I guess this is stuff that was going to eventually happen anyway, maybe, at some point. I just keep pushing it along. So the one thing that's missing for me, and as I said, in MicroPython right now is the RMT support. And unfortunately, because it's ESP32 only, then not only is there only a small subset of people that can do it, and it's probably going to be Matt, and he has no time. But because it's ESP32 only, there's not a lot of motivation right now to get it implemented quickly. Because the only thing there's lots of stuff it's useful for. But for me, driving RGB LEDs isn't really the most exciting. It's important to me, but it's not necessarily important to the rest of the MicroPython community that are maintaining the code base. Yeah. So, what else can I tell you? Apart from the fact that my coffee's empty and I could probably do with another coffee. But, hey, Adam, how's your board going? I've been trying to get in touch with you. How's the audio board? I want one to play with. I'm trying to think what else. Is there any other news? Anything else I've been working on? Anything else I've been building? Not really. I've got a lot of tiny picos to... Yeah. Built... Nope. I built all of these. Oh, my light. I've got to turn my light back on. I have a lot of tiny picos I need to pull apart and test. This is the last of every board I've got here. I'm waiting for these new boards from JLC PCB. So these all have to be pulled apart and cleaned, as in the edges, the rescore clean. I've done these edges already. And then tested, and then these have all been tested already. Oops, these are ready to be cleaned. But I still have very many tiny picos to do. Any word on Crowd Supply? Crowd Supply took delivery today of their of that package that got sent. Unfortunately, because I was in hospital, it got delayed me sending it. And then they tried to deliver it to Crowd Supply on Friday, but everyone was out for a company lunch, so they missed it. So it's their Tuesday now, because it was a public holiday Monday, and it's being delivered to them today. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to sort it all and get it through their system. It seems to be a little bit slow. APA board design is not finished, so you can't build. Well, I haven't got them sent off yet, Michael. I'm thinking about, I'm going to get one built, at least for be able to plug a tiny pico into it. I've got all my, I bought hundreds of these. Hundreds and hundreds of these I bought, because I want to use them for lots of different things, I think. So these are, I've not even opened one yet. These are the surface mount dual row headers for the tiny pico. Let's grab one out, but I don't want to lose them all. So this is what it's going to be on the back of the board for the tiny pico to plug into. So the idea is I went dual row for these boards, so that way when you can plug in the tiny pico on each side, and then you'll have all the pins broken out over here on the back of the APA board. So yeah, I've got all this stuff ready to go. I don't have the quick connectors, but I don't need those right now. So I'll probably, hopefully this week, I'll send those boards off to get made. Oh, Scott's going. Catch you later. Go do some work. Yes, I know that feeling. So I'm officially out of panels right now. So I can't make any more tiny picos, but I still need to, as I said, pull apart, clean and test all of these, and then get them all into the ultrasonic cleaner, and then get them all packed. Dual row surface mount. Yes. Now, these are easy to find. Single row surface mount is quite hard to find. I found a whole bunch on Alibaba, which I negotiated a price for, and then the guy disappeared, and he's not returning any of my contact emails, which is really annoying. Is Techmoan really ill, or is Techmoan really ill, or something that is quickly over? I don't know what that. What is that? What's Techmoan? It says 6th and 9th of the webpage, Johnny. Yeah, those dates don't mean anything. They just put dates on there in advance. Like they're based on nothing, unfortunately. So I just need to blow my nose again. Yeah. They have a lot of systems to improve still. Crowd Supply. They're still working through a lot of stuff. Dick Moan is a YouTuber that does retro audio and the like. Oh, okay. Should be building tomorrow. Yay. I hope your new boards work. Yeah, I've not heard of Dick Moan. Hope he's okay. Yeah, that's about it. There's really nothing else. I mean, obviously, it's been a couple of weeks, but I haven't really been around for much of it. So I'm quite surprised I've even got as much done as I have. YouTube closis. Is that a disease? Tuberculosis, something, I can't pronounce it. Have you ever been on the Amp Hour? No, never been on the Amp Hour. Never been invited. They don't even know I exist, which is totally fine. That's okay. I'm just a small player. So has everyone seen Greg Davil's RGB cube he's working on? See if I can find it. Twitter.com. See if I can find his tweets. Yeah. So check this out. For those that don't know, so Greg's in South Australia. Greg's a genius. Seriously, I don't want to log in. Go away. He's like amazing hardware guy. He started building an RGB cube after my stream a few weeks ago when I was talking about it. He got inspired to build a small one. He's doing his 24 by 24. And look at that. I don't know how that's going to play back. But he's doing it differently. He's doing it like a regular panel. So he's using regular RGB LEDs, with an RG and a B. They're not addressable. And he's doing it like those proper panels are, where you see if there's a back picture of the board. Here we go. That's him assembling the board. But so he's doing it with lots of LED drivers, right? And doing it the same way that they're done on the 64 by 32 panels that everyone's been playing with, where they make images with sound on a scope. That was an awesome video. Yeah, Greg's out of control. Like, he's just really one of the most talented hardware guys. Greg and Peter, who does the Icebreaker, both the two of them together, like, yeah, they got more brain cells between the two of them, I think, than complete suburbs here in Melbourne. Yeah, so yeah, that's him assembling them. So I've actually offered for him to come around. He's in South Australia, so it's about an 8-hour drive or a 45-minute flight, an hour flight, and come around and I'll pick and place these for him on the machine. Because, as I said, he's hand assembling them. He's done one panel. He's got 5 more panels to do. But this is interesting. He's using an FPGA and a micro. And so the FPGA does the hardware sync. because the way these work, they're done in planes. Yeah, like there's a whole, yeah, I've been looking into it. The guys have been sending me links of things, but yeah, basically it's done in planes, and so he's using a FPGA to sync the hardware and then a micro to do all the data. It's pretty amazing looking. I think it's really nice. I feel a Chris Gamble Twitter campaign coming on. For who? For me? Nah, I'm not going to annoy Chris. There's no point having me on Ampower. What am I going to talk about? The moment you brought that up, what was that sound? My head exploding. Oh, right. Yeah, so Greg, like now that he's done this, once Rickrolled, like there's no, I don't even know if I'm going to go back and make it my cube now, because yeah. For those that haven't seen this, go watch this on Smarter Everyday. Go check out this video. It's about drawing on oscilloscopes with sound. It's just insane. You got to go watch the video. Hang on, what have I missed? Greg's camera project's top class. Yeah, Greg's just freaking amazing. Which suburbs? Any suburb. Pick any two suburbs in Australia, and those two guys have more brain cells than everyone in those suburbs. Doesn't matter how big or small the suburb is. Was he the one showing? Yeah, he got Rick Astley going on it. Where was that? Further back. Anyway, it's beautiful stuff. And then what he's done, he designed this amazing looking anodized aluminium case for it, which apparently he was supposed to be delivered yesterday. So he's got that case that he's going to be mounting it on. Oh, there we go. He must have got it, because there it is. Yeah, he's just amazing. Greg is amazing. The surface dual connectors work as through board connectors. So if you put the holes in the PC between the pads, can be handy sometimes. Surface dual connectors. Oh yes, yeah, I know what he's doing, David. Is that what you mean? The hang on. See if there's a picture of it. He was talking about that. Here. No, are you talking about these? No, or something else you're talking about. Anyway, I don't know. Like the challenge of having your own laser cutter and pick and place machine, dealing with PCB houses. I don't know what that was about. Thought the whole oscilloscope thing was ages ago. What do you mean? The audio on oscilloscopes? No, that's a brand new video. It's pretty cool. Uppers beer, tea, coffee, later two biscuits. Hope you're well. Oh, hey, Neffers. Call Yaz to bring me a coffee. No. Yaz is not my servant. I will not do that. I don't know how long it will be until some sellers in China start cloning Greg's LED panels. Well, they already can. I mean, there's nothing... The panel is pretty much what the other panels are. By the way, Greg's not making these and selling them. He's making it just for himself, which sucks. But he'll probably open source the files. And if he does, I'll definitely make one, I think. Oh, you moved on to a new topic after I typed that. It was talking about the dual row pin headers. Oh, so go back to that. So surface dual connectors work as through board connectors if you put holes. Oh, right. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Sorry. Yeah, I thought about that. So what David is talking about is on these, if you look, there's holes on the bottom. So technically, you could put holes. You probably only fit one row. You can put holes on the PCB to actually have the pins go through the PCB as well. In my case, I don't want to do that because I don't want to have holes in the PCB. That's why I'm doing surface mount on the back of them. I don't want to have any holes going through. But you can do that. But then if I was to do that, I'd want shorter here, right? And finding shorter one of these to capitalize on that isn't really... Like, I can't find them anywhere. They're super custom, I think. I can get them made for me, but yeah. You gotta scroll through Greg's Twitter feed. Seriously, the guy's a freaking legend. Like, he really is. Sorry. I might have a bit of a crush on Greg, I gotta say. His brain. I've got a crush on Greg's brain and skills, not on Greg specifically. He's a great guy. Absolutely great guy. we talk often, but yeah. Anyway, need to move on from that. Hello, Andy Frog. Hello to anyone that I've missed saying hello to. So we can come and buy and use your pick and play for those. Yeah, well, you're gonna come by from the States. Might be a bit of a trip for you. You might be able to find a pick and place closer. Can you use a pick and place to decorate cakes? Maybe. Pick and pie? Nothing wrong with a man crush. I have several. Sure, there's nothing wrong with man crushes at all. Don't get me wrong. But for me, Greg, it's all about his brain and his skills than anything else. Yeah, they've been doing the oscilloscope video stuff for ages. Like that's not new. Just the Smarter Everyday video is a new video. It's a new look at it with the latest stuff that they've been doing. The latest versions of their software and stuff. That's all. I'm pansexual, so I just call them crushes. Sure. Hey, man crushes, not a problem. Brain crush, yeah. I think, like, for me, I'm in awe. I'm just in awe of his skill. Of not only of how quickly he does this stuff and designs this stuff, and just how beautiful all this hardware looks. I mean, look at this. And how beautiful his photography is. Right? And just his hand assembly skills. I mean, look at that. I mean, you know, and his hardware and his routing skills, just all of it. He's just got just some amazing skills and seems to be able to slam this stuff out really quickly. And that's probably because he's got no kids, right? To be fair. So the obligation, like, has everyone seen his orange crab? This is his orange crab. This is a feather footprint FPGA with 1 gig of DDR3 RAM. Okay? Like, is that just not crazy? I mean, look at this. He wire wraps. Look at that. He wire wraps at this level. Like, the guy is just all skill. Seriously. But yeah, orange crab. Like, how crazy is that? I don't know if he's going to go in production with it. I don't know if he's going to crowd supply. Sorry, this has become a everyone check out Greg thing. Sorry. Just you got to, if you're interested in hardware at all, or just hardware skills, even if you don't understand what he's doing, because I don't understand half of what he's doing, you just got to check out his stuff. Greg Davil at Greg Davil. He's got a YouTube channel. He just posts random videos. So he's not a proper YouTuber. Not really building a channel out of it. I mean, look at his designs. Like his routing, and his ice pick. Anyway, the guy is all class. All class. Love my kids, but yeah, they burn the free hours. They do. They really, family burns the hours. It's really hard to. And for me, evening time, especially at the moment, I'm just exhausted evening. Like, I used to be able to, like, work till all hours of the night, but I can't now. So, I mean, look at that. Just, oh. I mean, look at the back of the orange crab. I mean, it's just an amazing board. So that's the top. The bottom, SD card. I was thinking about it that, I reckon that's going to break the SD card pretty easily. Look at that. I mean, just... So, half the parts, I think it's half the components on this board are 0201 decoupling caps. And look at them all. They're all decoupling caps. I mean, that is just crazy. And they're all hand assembled. Greg's actually building a pick and place machine, but he hasn't finished it yet. Played Smart Everyday's video through his oscilloscope to verify that the images do indeed get plotted from the stereo output. Did he really? How funny is that? Orange crab. Anything with the word crab in it, you probably want to avoid Googling. Really kills me is that people have time to take photos. Right, not only do they take photos of their progress, but Greg takes amazing photos of his progress. Amazing photos. Beautiful. Beautiful art. I'm going to design a small board and call it a blue waffle. Okay. Design a jammer board for the Raspberry Pi once. Its working title was Cream Pie. Yeah, no, that would not be one. Hello, good morning, Yaz. Crawley, but not Crowley. Crowley. Actual people. Yeah, the screaming was okay. It's fine, Yaz. Not a problem. Yeah, well, there we go. So, I just wanted to... I think I've run out of stuff to talk about. Unless anyone's got any questions. Is there anything anyone wants to talk about? We can talk about the state of my office and how messy it is. I need to get rid of that couch. I've decided I'm going to, get rid of that couch because it's just a dumping ground, and I'm going to put a whole wall of shelves. You know, in those big IKEA things there. I think I'm going to do that because I need to get all the stuff off my floor and couches and stuff. I need to do some office rearranging. No, we're not talking about ESD. Oh, you can talk about it if you want to. You guys can talk about whatever you want. You're your own people. Looks like we might be getting a general election in the UK. Let's not talk about politics. The one thing we shouldn't talk about is politics, I think. Soft toys were mentioned earlier. Soft toys, were they? Is the living room cleared from your stuff? No, there's still stuff in there, but it's not as bad because the cleaner came on Monday. I had to get most of it out. So underneath the desks, like you can't really see this box here. It's just all full of boxes. Boxes of packaging and packaging. Like, I might have bought maybe 400 or so of these, 200 or whatever, and just like 500 of these. Oh no, I pulled it apart. So I'm going to go back in the box now. Damn. So just for packaging. So for anyone that's purchased... Oh yeah, okay. I forgot to announce. So this all happened really bad timing. Something else I haven't mentioned, which I really kind of should. So, I should show you something, Tony. This whole going to hospital thing really threw me. If anyone's missing some Hall effect sensors, such from their final order, I may have them. Bonus components! Thought you were actually going to wall mount some stuff there. I might wall mount some stuff. I think I'm past the whole not putting stuff on walls. I want to show you this. So, I did this the day before I went into hospital and didn't have a chance to talk about it. I might have tweeted about it, I don't know. But now, if you click on buy on my website, I also added the Discord link, by the way. So you can get, so if you're not on Discord already, you can go to here and it'll give you an invite. So you can get onto Discord. Let's go back. So now if you click on buy, look at this. I did this. My Tiny Pico Beeps Morse code. We like your Pac-Man soft toys. Yeah, the limited edition. All the Pac-Man stuff. You can't buy them. There's also some Crossy Road chickens as well. So now I've got, you can buy, there's a Tiny Pico shop. So I've got Tiny Picos on Tindy, but only Tiny Picos if Tindy is better for you to buy. But I've got a Tiny Pico shop on my Tiny Pico website. And I'm now selling Tiny Picos directly. And you can buy shield packs, but I'm also selling shields individually for those that only wanted individual, like a few people just wanted like 2 RTC shields. So I launched this the day I got sick and never really had a chance to talk about it. And then what happened is I went to hospital and all orders started coming in. Is Ian going? Bye, Ian. After 11, yeah, go to sleep, mate. Get some rest. Thanks for joining, I appreciate it. Yeah, all these orders started coming in. I was in hospital and I couldn't do anything about them, so it took me a while to get the orders out. So that's really exciting. So I bought all this packaging stuff for all these orders, and I've decided to make sure that everything's packaged really well. So every order that goes out gets double or triple bubble wrapped. I don't want any of the situations that happened for the stuff that came from Crowd Supply, where antennas were knocked off. So how much is shipping? Well, you're in the States, aren't you, Johnny? If you're in the States, it's still cheaper for you. Well, it's the same price. Everything works out the same. So like my Tiny Pico is $20, and shipping to the US will be, for a one-off board, will be $6. I think it is. And that's just going regular mail. So you're better off doing it through Crowd Supply, because you get FedEx. Although, yes, there's a delay in them shipping them. Oh, no, you're in Sweden. Right, so my shipping is... Well, it depends how you want it. For like 1 or 2 boards, I'll send it via mail, although I don't like it because it's untracked. And so shipping works out to... It's cheaper than Crowd Supply, but you're going to get hit with VAT and duty and stuff, right? Which you shouldn't with Crowd Supply. I don't know what Sweden's like. But then any orders that it's got 3 or more parts is a flat rate shipping of $15 and that's tracked. It's still by post, but it's tracked. So shipping works out to be, for Europe, a fraction cheaper than Crowd Supply, but I don't take care of any of the VAT or anything, so you're still better off doing it through Crowd Supply, maybe, depending on what you want to order. So it's important that all the pricing works out the same, unfortunately. Like, I can't... Well, not unfortunately. Like, I'm not going to undercut Crowd Supply. I have to be careful with that. And any other resellers that are going to be taking the boards, I need to make sure that I can't undercut them. Can you do a shout out to Flynn, please? Oh, yes! Hey, Flinny! Oh, I actually told him I would anyway. Hi, Flynn! Everyone say hi to Flinny. Or you don't have to. I'm saying hi to Flynn. Increases their international prices at the end of the month. Yeah, I know. Australia Post have gone up again on their pricing. It's a bit frustrating. If I order an audio shield, does Yaz Rosen promise to accidentally add Maltesers to the bag? I don't think you'd want to do that. They're not going to be wrapped in anything, and you're going to end up with melted Malteser all over your audio board. He's waving at you all. Hi, Flinny. Hi, buddy. So yeah, anyway, so I launched that, which is pretty exciting. And so the reason I've only got tiny picos on Tindy is because to release stuff on Tindy, you need to do a complete store page for every single product, right? So I'm going to have to make an individual store page for every shield, or for a shield pack of everything else, and it's just really painful, and so I just haven't bothered. So I'm doing tiny picos on here, and again it works out the same with the quantity breaks. Like on Tindy you can just add whatever quantity you want, so the pricing works out exactly the same. Right, so that's how shipping works. Oh, that's for me in Australia. Okay, that doesn't help because it knows I'm in Australia. So there's a first item and an additional item rate, but then there's a flat rate. So after I think 3 items, it works out cheaper for the flat rate. $10 charge plus VAT. Right, so you get charged $10 plus VAT for anything outside. That sucks. Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, I launched that, which is really cool. So I've had probably equal orders coming in from Tindy and from my own store. So yeah, well, as soon as I came back from hospital, that day actually, I was feeling terrible, but I started packing orders because they were piling up. But yeah, it was really important for me to make sure that everything was double bubble wrapped. So I bought like hundreds and hundreds of those bags, lots of them. Hey, Wellbot, howdy. I'm at Final Destination now. Oh, hey, look everyone. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Hey, everyone, it's Flinny. Can you wave now? Because they all said hi to you. Hey, how are you?
Good.
Yeah? Have you had breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah? What have you been doing? Drawing? I can tell you've been drawing because look at that. You've got textures all over your fingers. Yay!
Why say yay? Is it a bad thing?
So I do, hang on a second, I do send them as letters if it's small enough. If it fits through the letter slot, I can send them as letters. But that's what those prices are set at. That's the reason that after 2 of them or 3 of them, it's cheaper for me to send them the other way. Because 3 of them in a bag makes it too thick to fit as a letter, and therefore it gets sent as a parcel, which is horrifically expensive. I have a question. Yaz says, I have a question for Flynn. Yes, Yaz, what is the question for Flynn? Everyone's saying hi to you, buddy. Gotta go. See you, Helmet. Catch you later. Enjoy work. When you said breakfast, then my brain broke. Yeah. Gotta remember, we're on the other side of the world. We're in the future. Squeak Flynn. What's Squeak Flynn? Yeah. The postage system in Australia is just horrifically expensive. It's just... Sorry. So that's why I'm happy that there's Crowd Supply, there's Tindy, obviously still ships from me, and there's my own shop, and then soon there'll be other people stocking the boards, and you'll have lots of places to buy them. Flynn, what is your favourite movie?
Oh, that's hard. I can't think of... I think my favourite movie is,
Okay, movies. Don't you pick one?
Yeah, movies.
Okay, so which ones?
My favourite is like movie Ice Age, and the Angry Birds movie too, even though I haven't seen it.
Okay, so Angry Birds and Ice Age. What about Star Wars? How many times?
Yeah, Star Wars definitely.
Okay, so Flynn has watched all of the Star Wars movies 50 times each, just in the last 6 months. No, not John Wick 3. That would not be a... And yeah, what about Lego Movie? You like that?
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, Flynn and I watched Tron for the first time recently because, see, surely it's Tron because of Flynn's Arcade. And every time there was a picture of Flynn's Arcade, or
Mum
they said
says Star Wars, and I can see Mum at the bottom.
Yeah, how many lightsabers have you got? So Flynn makes his own lightsabers. He's got...
Oh, no, I can't.
He's got the cross one, and he's got the double-ended one. He's got blue ones and red ones.
I can't. 20, no, 10. I can't. No,
Yeah.
10, I think, 10. And I'm making more.
Have you watched Babe? No, Flynn has not watched Babe.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Dark Crystal? No. I love Dark Crystal. But, has everyone seen the new Netflix series? Yeah, you need a flashing light for when orders come in. We'll encourage orders during your live streams. Hey, Bruce, I was actually thinking of... I want to build something that scrapes live chat. So every time someone @s me, it plays a sound. And then I want to, for orders as well. So John Oxer has... he built an ordering system for him for his Freetronic stuff, where one of the monitors on his desk is just a list of orders coming through as they come through, like a live feed. It's really cool. I was thinking of making something like that, but he sells 10 times more stuff than I do. So, next LED project, a lightsaber. No, see, the problem with Flinny's lightsabers is he breaks them really often, doesn't he?
No, I did not.
That's why you keep making new ones.
Well, because well, I actually kind of, maybe you can make maybe because you're an expert, you can make a real lightsaber.
Not a real one, but yes, a lit up one, maybe. Maybe one day. When I'm sure you won't break it in 5 minutes after getting it.
How am I going to break it if it's real? How am I going to break it?
Well, you'll chop my arm off if it's real. I don't want that.
Well, I'm not. Why would I?
Yeah, Dark Crystal's awesome. My kids aren't interested in Star Trek. It's a bit too adult for them, I think. Labyrinth is a great film.
Oh, you said Star Trek?
Star Trek, yeah. That's different to Star Wars.
Wait, there is actually a game called that.
Yeah, there's actually a TV show and movies.
And a
Lots
game.
of TV shows.
And a game.
You see, this generation, right, it's all about, oh my god, there's a movie based on this game. No. They don't realise that the shows and movies are being
there's literally a game.
Okay, there's a game. Okay, great. Thanks.
It's called the exact same thing.
Well, Daddy's an expert. Daddy's an expert on nothing. Okay, you're gonna wave goodbye?
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hey, behave for Mum. Thanks. Bye. Cool. Marketing. Yeah, it's funny. Like, so we have conversations with our kids all the time. Because both of them are, with the autism makes them very literal. Hey, Rob. Oh, thank you. That was unnecessary, but thank you, mate. So they're very literal. So it's very hard to explain to them when they see something first, like a game. Then, as far as they're concerned, that's the first occurrence of it. So therefore, everything else is based around that. So that whole thing about there's a game. I said, yeah, the game's based on a show and a movie. No, the game. Because it's all about their first introduction to. So trying to explain to them that I watched Star Trek when I was a kid, it doesn't compute. Anyway, it's pretty funny. Don't worry. you know less and less the older they get. True. I hope they learn more first before they start forgetting stuff. I have to learn to read between the lines and not take things too literally. I'm pretty good at reading intent and body language cues in people. Okay, I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but my kids have none of those skills. Way back in the dark ages of CRT TVs, yeah. Flight of the Navigator was awesome. Really enjoyed it, loved that. Batteries Not Included was okay. CRT still rule. A good CRT is, I think, nice. They just suck so much power, and they're so heavy. That was an unexpected visit, wasn't it? That was really cool. Thanks for coming, Flynn. So, there we go. I mean, kids' perception of their parents. Oh, right. The older they get, the more they realise that we have no idea what we're talking about. Yes, okay, that bit. Yeah? Like the fact that Flynn thinks I can actually make him an actual real lightsaber, that's both cute and a little sad, I think. Oh, Cocoon. I love the Cocoon films. I don't know. I mean, I love modern films, but I think there's just so many old films that were just really fantastic films. Stream is breaking up? No? Hope not. I hate to say when I was young I had no sci-fi movies to see. I think Sound of Music, Mary Poppins. Wow, okay. Yeah. There's so much sci-fi now. It's pretty cool. So sweet he called me an expert. He calls me some other things that aren't so sweet too, but you know, that's okay. Yeah, we don't get the healthy UVs from the CRTs anymore. That's really funny, James. I'm on Johnny's TV. I'm a TV personality. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, so... Oh. Book. Okay, Yaz has got a link. Find what that is. Open a new window. Right, this is funny. Okay, so Yaz and I have been collecting sayings, right? So with autism, because the kids are literal, or sorry, not kids, anyone with autism often is quite literal. They don't understand expressions like it's raining cats and dogs. Like if you know, when it's raining and you just go, oh, it's raining cats and dogs, like all these looking for the cats and dogs, right? And we just keep coming up with so many interesting sayings, like hold your horses. Like, really? Where's my horse? Or, you know, kicking goals, right? But I don't have a ball. Like, where's the goals? It's hilarious. Anyway, War Games is by far my favourite film ever, and I have another video coming out for that soon. Some of those films are now amazing. Composers like James Horner are no longer around. Yeah, I never really got into the directors and composers of those films, really. I was just more interested in the films. Anyway, this is an interesting book for those that want to have a bit of a laugh. Having kids that are quite literal is often funny and quite frustrating, because it's amazing how many things we say during the day that we don't realise that can't get understood by literal people. Oh, it's raining. What is? Yeah, what's raining? But a whole class trying to explain surface area. Yeah, it's a bit different because that's like a concept, Jerry, as opposed to like stringing some words together that have a meaning that don't have anything to do with the words. That's the problem. That what time is it? Me? What time is what? I think Azzy needs to go get himself checked. Are you on the spectrum? Yeah, I'm order 10. Oh, did you place an order, Bruce? Ooh. Yay, thank you. Yeah, I've not sold a lot. 10 orders there and about, I think, 15 orders on Tindy. So I've not pushed a lot of Tiny Picos because I didn't even really announce the stores were available. Cocoon, Braveheart was great. Willow was okay. Casper, Avatar. Avatar's much newer. Don't forget to shoot out the light. I've not heard that expression before. You mean to turn the lights off? Interesting. Don't forget to shoot out the light. Yeah. Finn will go for a gun. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. It's 8:30. It's been 2 hours. I thought I'd only stream for an hour. Was that apparently neurodivergent, more or less the same score on each site. Wow. Don't believe all those tests though on those websites, but yes. Atypical, yeah, Yaz watched Atypical. Really, Greg? I think we're all on the spectrum. Day of the Earth Stood Still, the original was very good, yes. I'm not sure the Keanu Reeves one was... It was too close to The Matrix when it came out, and all I could think of was Neo. Why is Neo in another film? Wow! Matrix 4 is coming. Does everyone know about that? Yeah? And a new Terminator. I know we're not all on the spectrum. Yaz. I was waiting for that. Waiting for that slap. That's why I did it. Yaz is going to do a live stream and tell all on about how I know nothing about anything. But that's okay. With ESP86, one could add his own frozen modules easily. How on ESP32? You just need to put them inside the... so in the ports, ESP32 modules folder, stick your own code inside that modules folder, and when you build, it'll be frozen into your build. The kicker for me is that, I mean, that's easy for me to do if I'm making custom, but I need that working on the build system so it's always there. So to have that working, they need to add support to be able to look for multiple places for frozen modules, which is being worked on at the moment. And hopefully that'll be done in the next week or so ago. Yes, Yaz was shouting at me. That's okay. That's okay, I deserved that one. It was a joke. It was a joke and it backfired. Oh well. And a new Top Gun. And I gotta say, the new Top Gun doesn't excite me much. I don't know. I'll watch it, but I don't know. It's like it doesn't need a new Top Gun. But a Matrix 4, that's exciting. And a new Terminator, that's also exciting. And there's some other new stuff's coming. Yeah, anyway. Attempt to get BitLooney's composite video code running on the ESP32A1S board. Which one's the A1S board? I don't know. Generate some visualizer patterns from an audio input. Yeah, I feel like there was nothing to add to Top Gun. Like, I don't possibly know what they could do to Top Gun to add to it, you know what I mean? Anyway. Well, there already was a Blade Runner, like, a new one. Yeah, Wreck-Your How died, that was really shame. What? Is someone saying that there's a new Blade Runner? There's not a new Blade Runner. They're not doing a There was talk about a remake? Yeah, Rodger died. Yeah, there was a talk on them remaking Blade Runner, and why would they do that? That's just stupid. That's trying to cash in on stuff. That's pure money making stuff. And it probably won't even work. Okay, anyway, I'm going. Thank you all for joining. It was pretty cool. It's nice to be back. I have a video lined up for Friday. Some of you might find it interesting, some of it not. And I really can't wait to get back onto making some projects and getting all this Tiny Pico stuff built. I'm close. Kind of. I'm over halfway, which is exciting. But yes, okay. Hit like, folks, or don't. That's okay. But if you do, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your well wishes while I was while I was sick, and while I was getting better. I really appreciate it. Awesome community. Thank you all. And yeah, catch you all later. Hopefully I'll have some stuff to build next year. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I can now use my microscope on my streams. Yes, that was going to be the big, yay, I'm going to build a Tiny Pico live on the stream, a Tiny Pico Plus, and you would have been able to see under my microscope. Forgot to tell that as well. That's other news, but I'll show you that next week. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. If my stencil arrives. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.